G'day guys and welcome to my channel. My name is Danny Bird. If you're a new viewer, welcome. I hope you consider subscribing to my channel. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. Hopefully some of my previous videos are helping you improve your golf game. In today's video, we're going to be talking about compression. Okay, we're going to look at a reason why many players struggle to create compression and a couple of simple drills that you can do at home and at the driving range that are going to help you learn to compress that golf ball better, get a stronger ball flight, get greater ball speed, and get more distance on your iron shots in particular. So one of the most interesting things about compression is actually how misunderstood it is by so many golfers. Now, to break it down simply, compression is essentially having, and if we break it down as simple as possible, less loft on the club at points of contact than what we had at address. When we understand that we want essentially to take loft off of the club, the easiest way to think about doing that is for the hands to be moving forward, okay? Now, when you set up to the golf ball, we often see players make this key mistake. In an effort to get compression, most players are going to find themselves trying to cheat the swing system. And what I mean by that is as they address the golf ball, we're going to see them push their hands forward. Now, I've done videos on this in the past, but it's key to understand that quite often we'll actually see the hands go forward and the club face opens, okay? So we don't really get the de-lofting of the club that we want. We get an open face and we get our hands pushing forward. If you're able to push your hands forward before you take the club away, and you don't open the club face, one, congratulations, but two, you've now de-lofted the club way too much, okay? And this is the common one we see. Players pushing their hands forward. They've de-lofted the club. Your brain is smart enough to understand that as you make contact with the golf ball, as we come into impact, yes, we want the hands pushing forward. But if my 7-iron is 34 at normal setup, I've cheated the system, I'm gonna make sure I compress this next shot, I've pushed my hands forward, I've turned this loft down now, and we'll say it's around about 25 degrees just to be, we're gonna err on the side of caution, so around about 25 degrees. As I make contact, if I continue to push my hands forward, there's a potential that I'm going to halve that amount of loft, so that 25 now becomes anywhere between 12 and 13 degrees. Well, now we're talking 3-wood loft, and strong 3-wood loft at that. You're not going to hit a 7-iron with the club loft being presented at 12 to 13 degrees, and certainly not hit it well unless you have extremely fast club head speed. Chances are if you're watching this video, you probably don't have super club head speed. So what's going to happen is as you're bringing the club down into impact, your golfing subconscious is aware that we already have nowhere near enough loft on that club, and we're going to throw the hands back, we're going to reorientate that loft to get some loft onto the golf club to help us get the golf ball up in the air. And what happens, we actually have almost no compression on the golf ball. And no matter how hard we try, no matter how far forward we keep pushing our hands before we take the club away, essentially your brain is telling you that we cannot cheat the system. So we want to make sure that we are setting ourselves up neutrally, okay? To create compression, number one, we want to set ourselves up neutrally. The lead hand is going to be just slightly ahead of the golf ball. Now, what about the second mistake that we often see? Now, the second mistake I see players making is they're trying so hard to delay their release of the club, so they're going to maintain these wrist angles, and they're going to maintain very strong wrist angles, almost feeling like they've got like a little 90-degree wrist angle here as they're working down towards impact, and they're doing that because they're going to try and keep those hands moving forward. But the reality is that if I maintain that angle and keep moving forward, the club doesn't get down to the golf ball. That's obvious, okay? So then we're going to see a very late release. And as soon as I do that, as you can see there on camera, delayed release, I do so by pulling my hands back, and now I've reorientated the club face and I've added loft back to the club. What does that mean? Well, that means no compression. And again, doesn't matter how hard we see players doing it, trying to really delay that kind of wrist angle, hold it, get my hands moving forward, and then I know through impact I'm going to have my hands ahead of the golf ball, but we're not going to do that because we're going to have to throw the club at the last minute. In order to throw that club, we have to pull the hands back, okay? Well, that's not going to create compression. So we need to avoid trying to maintain that wrist angle and trying to hold it for as long as possible and try to really drive that hand forward through that wrist angle. We need to avoid doing that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you guys a couple of drills you can do. One that we can do at home, one that we can do at the driving range, and we're going to help you compress that golf ball so much better. Okay, so our at-home drill, very, very simple. And for those of you that have seen some of my previous videos, I'm an advocate for training for 5 minutes each day for a 30-day period. That's when we're going to see towards the end of that 30-day training period, we're going to start to see some serious improvement. We're going to see some changes. So all you're going to need for this is an old golf bag. So I've got my old tailor-made golf bag here and an alignment stick, okay? You don't have to have a bag as big as this. It can be a little bag, it can be a backpack, it can be anything. But for the purpose of the video, it's handier to have a bigger bag. So if you do have like an old golf bag laying around the house, perfect for this drill. We're going to take an alignment stick here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to grip about, a third of the way down the alignment stick, okay? So I'm not going to hold it all the way at the top end. So I'm just going to go about a third of the way down. We're going to get ourselves into our setup position here. So I'm going to place the alignment stick on the ground. I'm going to position my hands just marginally ahead of where the alignment stick is on the ground, okay? So this represents being in my normal setup position. And very simply, we're going to swing to the top and pause. And as we work down, we're going to ensure that our hands are pushing ahead. You guys can't see from the camera here, but my hands are disappearing behind my golf bag before I make contact with the alignment stick onto the bag itself, okay? So we're set up, we're top, we pause. Really simple. Just getting used to that feeling of having the correct setup to begin with and then pushing the hands forward. One of the things that I will make sure that you guys are doing correctly, I'm going to spin the bag around for this, okay, is as we work down into our point of contact, please don't be lazy. Do not just throw the hands forward, okay? Because from this position here, if I were to be holding my golf club, you can see here that the back of my left hand is pointing way out to the right. So essentially my club face would be pointing 20, 30, maybe even 40 meters right of the target, all because of this. Now imagine you do that for 30 days. You're training incorrectly. You're training without a sense of purpose and without a sense of focus. You're going to go out and start blocking all these golf shots, which we don't want to do. So even though we're working on the compression element, you can see here the back of my right hand is squaring up what would be essentially my club face. So it's very, very important if you're going to do this drill that you do it with a sense of purpose. So really mindful of where are my hands positioned, making sure that you start from the correct setup. For 30 days, 5 minutes each day, guys, you're going to see some significant changes in your ability to compress the golf ball better when you do go to the driving range. For those of you that do want to go to the driving range and you want to hit a golf ball and you want to see some changes, follow me. Okay, so for those of you that want to hit golf balls at the driving range, now this drill is more of a visual drill. And what I mean by that is you're going to want to record yourself, okay? Because easiest way to figure out how we're working, if we're doing it the correct way when it comes to compression, is we're going to see a change in flight and strike, but get yourself on video. So what you can do, really simple, this is a great way of training, is what I've done is I've got my setup template here, great training aid, going to help us put the ball in the correct spot, create some precision from which we start from. I'm going to have my alignment stick here positioned approximately 1 club head width inside of my lead foot, okay? And my 7 iron's positioned where it should be, which is just marginally forward of center of the stance there. What we're going to do, at setup position here, I'm going to make sure that when I look down, my left hand, my lead hand here, is just margin. I'm going to close my right eye for this so I can look over my left eye. I'm going to close my left hand here is just slightly in line with this orange alignment stick, okay? Then what we're going to do, we're going to set our video recorder into slow motion, okay? So we're going to use a slow motion element of our camera. And we're going to be making some swings and trying to, in dummy motion, ensure that we're feeling this motion here. Just pushing the hands forward at point of contact, okay? And then when we go to hit the golf ball, we're going to video ourselves and try to make sure that as we are making contact with the golf ball, that our hands are actually getting a head. And as a great reference point, check point, we want them to be somewhere near the inside of our left thigh, our lead thigh, if you're a left-handed player, it'd be the other thigh. That's a great way of checking. Now, not all training drills have to be elaborate. We don't have to have massive setups and so forth. So this is a really simple, very easy way to be working on getting your compression. Video yourself, go back, have a look at the swing. What you feel like you're doing and how much movement and compression you think you're generating may not be quite what you actually see on camera, but that's a great way to then train because, hey, I need to adjust that feeling. Feelings, well, you can take those onto the golf course, and that's why I'm a big advocate for if we can train with a feeling, please do, because when you do go on the golf course and we don't have any of these other training aids, we're still able to work with what we've done in our practice. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. Those little thumbs up go a long way to the video getting shared across the YouTube platform, which helps my channel grow, which gives me the availability to create more and more free content, hopefully helping you improve your game. If you know someone that needs help with their game, please feel free to share the video with them. Could be a friend, family member, maybe a playing partner. Please feel free to leave a comment. As you'll see in all my other videos, if you do leave a comment, I will personally get back to all comments. It can be just a mention of the video. It might be a question about the video. It could just be a general question that you have. If I can answer it, I absolutely will do that for you. If you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And when you do subscribe, make sure you hit that little bell so you get notified when the videos get released. We're doing a couple of videos every single week at the moment. So until next time, guys, thanks for your time and happy golfing.